Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that feels straight out of science fiction: how OpenAI is giving artificial intelligence, well, senses.
I mean, think about it. What if AI could do more than just read text? What if it could actually see and hear and even create things? Well, that's not sci-fi anymore. That's the world of multimodal AI. And trust me, it's changing everything.
So, what is multimodality really? At its heart, it's all about giving AI more ways to experience and interact with the world around us. We're talking about moving way beyond just processing text and turning it into something that can perceive information in a way that's, well, a lot more like we do.
Now, as you can imagine, there are a few different ways to build these senses. You've got some companies out there aiming for one single generalist model that tries to do it all, kind of like a jack of all trades. But OpenAI, they're taking a different path. They're using what's called a specialist approach, building these incredibly powerful, distinct models for each individual sense. And today, we're going to dive into them one by one.
All right, let's get right into it. First up, vision. This is all powered by a model called GPT-4 Vision. And yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. This is where we literally teach the machine how to see. And the way it works is actually super simple, really intuitive. You start by giving the AI an image and then a simple text prompt. Just like you'd ask a friend, hey, what do you see in this picture? And the results, they're just, wow. The AI doesn't just spit back a list of objects like water, trees, sky. No. It actually gets the context. It understands the mood and the feeling of the scene. And it describes it with this rich, almost human-like detail. You see it right there. It talks about a sense of peace and tranquility. That is a massive leap forward from just basic object recognition. Okay, but let's be real, it's not perfect. Not yet. And it's super important to understand where the limitations are. For example, it really struggles with highly specialized data. Just think about the risks if it misreads something like a CT scan or an X-ray. And its ability to read text on images, that can get pretty shaky if the language isn't English. So yeah, it's an incredibly powerful tool for sure, but this is a great reminder that for any critical task, human oversight is still absolutely essential. Okay, so once an AI can see the world, what's the logical next step? Well, how about creating things in that world? This is where we get to explore how an AI can become an artist, using these amazing models like DALL-E 2 and DALL-E 3. So, these models basically have three core creative skills. First, they can generate completely new images from scratch just from a text description you give it. Second, they can edit pictures you already have based on your instructions. And third, they can take one single image and create a bunch of different variations of it.
Let's really focus on that middle one for a second, editing, because this is where things get incredibly powerful. So let's imagine we have this really nice picture of a lake, right? But it just feels like it's missing something. You know what it needs? A flamingo. Let's add a flamingo.
So how does this actually work? Well, it's pretty clever. You give it the original image, and then you provide something called a mask, which basically just tells the AI exactly where to make the change. You add a simple text prompt, and the AI gets to work. But, and this is the important part, it's not just cutting and pasting a flamingo picture on top. No, what happens is just stunningly realistic, because the AI is using the context of the original photo. It's analyzing the light, the shadows, the little reflections in the water, and it blends that new flamingo in so seamlessly that the final image looks completely, flawlessly unedited. It's like digital magic, honestly. All right, so our AI can see and it can create. That's amazing. But what's next? Let's give it ears and a voice. This brings us to the whole fascinating world of audio processing. So first up, let's talk about listening. The AI can do two main things here with speech to text. The first one is transcription. That's pretty straightforward. It just writes down exactly what was said in the same language. But then you've got translation, which takes spoken audio in one language and writes it out as text in a totally different language. Okay, so that's the ears. Now for the other side of the coin, the voice. When we want the AI to actually talk back to us, OpenAI's text-to-speech model gives us a bunch of options. Right now, you can pick from 6 distinct preset voices. And this is about so much more than just sound, right? This is about personality. A developer could choose, say, Onyx for a deep, authoritative voice in a news app, or maybe Shimmer for a really warm, friendly voice in an app for kids. It really lets you shape the entire character and feel of your applications. Okay, so let's recap. We have an AI that can see, it can create, it can hear,
And it can speak. It has senses. But what if you need it to be a deep expert in a really specific topic? I'm talking about something like corporate law or astrophysics. Well, that is where fine-tuning comes into play.
The best way to think about fine-tuning is like this. It's like giving a really smart generalist AI a specialized PhD. You take this powerful, already pre-trained model, and you train it even more on your own custom specific data. You're essentially teaching it the unique language, the jargon, the deep knowledge of your particular business or field. But, and this is a huge but, here's the most crucial point. The quality of that specialized education is everything. I mean, everything. The data you use to fine-tune has to be pristine. Because if you use poorly prepared data or data that hasn't been checked by a real expert, you can actually make the model perform worse. You can confuse it and mess with all the knowledge it already has. You know the saying, garbage in, garbage out? Well, it has never been more true than it is right here. So when you step back and look at it all, from vision to voice, from creation to conversation, we've basically given AI the fundamental senses to perceive and interact with our world. The tools are here, right now, and they are getting more powerful literally every single day. So the only real question left for us is, what are we going to build with them?